going live. I don't have a lot of room on my other phone that has a really good camera, and somehow I can't go live on there either. YouTube doesn't let me. So I'm going live, and I'm going to keep this hopefully as it is because I just want to upload it. There's a few lives I've done, like 3 lives that I haven't downloaded to edit, shorten, make it more concise to upload. So I'm just going to do this one as it is. I was okay, so I'm psychic. There's a lot of us that have talked about it now. Um, it's not always something that everybody has. I always thought everybody could have that. Everybody has gifts, but if you're psychic, you know it at some point. At least by the time you're like 31, 32. It's not all the time. So I put that out there because a lot of times you're pushed, that gift is pushed on you, and a lot of it is just responsibility. And in 2016, I know I'm crying. I just I had someone help me shut it off. What I'm learning is that I'm like trying not to channel while I'm making this video, and by channeling I mean trying not to let spirit come through by talking. Like, they can be behind me or whatnot, but like, just please don't talk while I'm talking because I want to use my mind. And then I'm just wanting to get this through, what I want to say, and then I can do a little live thing at the end. So I've had to heal some things, and how I had to do that is a lot of times I don't know. I ask for help. Almost 100% of the time I just don't do anything. But last night, I was saying, like, I need to let go of a root problem. There's somebody named Francine, what more, here in my building who's in management, and it's just a lot. And it's like a bug. Think of it as like a roach that just won't leave you alone. So I had to figure out a way to get the stress out of my body and out of my life. So what they showed me, and by they, you have your whole frequency, you gotta go with the highest frequency. Like, I've got to let the highest frequency come through. I was shown that, and I've shown this before a lot, on my right toe, that's the way the energy works, that I have to tie a knot with a string. So these are like one of the strings that I use. I use the real one on the other side, like the actual one that I use, and I have to tie a knot, and it's like symbolic. You could do it with your mind, but and then it'll make the root of the problem, the cause, go away. Now, while I was doing that, I was also like, I want to skip topics, okay? Hopefully the train will make sense in a few minutes. Like, changing topics. Last week, or more than a week ago, actually, I want to say almost 2 weeks ago, I was searching for this song by Leila Forouhar, which is an old movie she did called Sultane, Qalbha, which is King of Hearts. And I used to watch that movie all the time, or at least maybe I just remember it. I might have watched it once, I don't know, but I just remember specifically this song. But I couldn't remember the name of the song, I couldn't remember the lyrics to try and Google it. And I was like just putting a bunch of songs in my playlist that were Persian songs, and then the following meet, I met a guy who was Persian, and he only listened to Persian songs, and I brought up this movie. I was like, oh, like, do you know this movie? And I didn't talk about it too much, but like, I kept asking that, and right at the same time, so this movie is about a blind person, okay? And this is what I mean. So right at the same time as I tied the knot, I had music on the other side. Like, I was going through YouTube. Like, I can show you. I don't know if there's a copyright issue with me switching the camera. Hopefully not, but I have to show you guys this stuff anyway. Hopefully one day it'll help one person. Not help, but like kind of see how these things work. So I was like on my home screen, okay? And then this is like a video that popped up, and it was uploaded 2 weeks ago. And so I clicked on it, and I was gonna, listen to it right after I was done tying that knot. That song, I don't know if it was the melody or whatnot. Sorry, one second. I'm going to switch over to one more important thing that I have to get out there before I tell you what that song did. The few weeks ago, when I was putting Persian music in my playlist before I met this guy, like literally like almost a week after, not even, like that weekend after I met this boy who's Persian, I was thinking I want that song. And I didn't know Leila Forouhar. I thought she was like passed on because she came really, really evidently and clearly. And I know that I can also like in the spirit realm, and this is what I mean when I don't practice, and I need to do that because it's almost like you can see things. You just have to not guess, because a lot of times you just know. That's why they have the different senses. Knowing is one of the senses, but like on the physical realm, I need to kind of I'm educating myself, or there's education that's out there. Other people have written books that I need to read, but this was one of the things that I have learned, that I can, like, some people can also see those who are still living, so their spirit can still come through. So depending on, like, if you're at a higher frequency, you can still you can still attach to that person. So for me, it was Leila Forouhar, and I wasn't asking directly. She was just like really evident. So I'm going to skip back to this video of this blind girl made the whole station cry, like this one, because there's another ones that I want to show you guys after. So this one, I wanted to show you something, but I already messed it up. I didn't take a screenshot. So that video came on, okay, and the melody of this video was almost exactly, for me it was like, or the harmony or melody, I don't, you'd have to tell me what it is, but not you'd have to tell me, but there's a word for it. I think the harmony reminded me of that song from the movie. So I want to play a little bit, but I just thought I'd share with you this because I don't know why. I think the most important thing in this video was me tying the knot, but I wanna bring up some of the lyrics because there's two completely different lyrics, two songs. So this song came up, the harmony reminded me of the other song that I was looking for, which is a really, really, really old song. Okay, and both of this is why I say it's wow. This is the Persian song I was looking for, and this is how it sounds. But I'm not going to show the video. I can link it in the description. You can skip this part if you don't want to actually listen to it. And then skip it to the part where I'm talking again. So this is just the music. And I'm going to skip to the part where she's singing. This is the blind mom singing. She's blind, but she's also a singer. Okay, and it sounds like the Viola Viola song that they were playing at the station in the other video. So this song was like 3 minutes long. When I played this, I just started crying because I was like, I don't want to cry on this, but the movie is by Leila Forouhar, which is the spirit that came through, and it came through right at the time that I was tying the knot. So I don't really understand what the situation, what tying the knot part is with this, But the minute I saw that video of the girl singing and she was blind, that's exactly what that movie was about. It's about the blind mother. Um, and I know me tying that knot is about my mother, but I'm gonna go into the lyrics of the Sultana Qalbha, which is basically saying, this is what I want to show you, and I switched and I clicked the wrong thing, and it was weird, and I didn't take a screenshot to show you later, but there is a English version of it where it shows the lyrics, and I'm going to show you, but this is where the guy's singing. I'll turn it over. And then this part, I'll tell you in a sec. It's so weird, it just shows up the text pictures. That's how technology works, but your eyes can't see it. Okay, so I'll share with you one last thing. That was the lyrics for Sultana Qalbha, which is the King of Hearts. And he is a singer that in the movie, the mother who's blind, of the daughter, ends up singing. I haven't seen the whole movie again as an adult to explain it or say what it is. But, stop. What do you want? But like, wait, I'll play with you in a sec. But the thing is that, why did all of my tabs close all of a sudden? That is so weird. There's something going on. Oh, it's inactive tabs. Okay, I didn't know it does that. I'm going to go in and click, what was it, Viola Viola? Is that Viola song? It's a French song, and I'm going to put in lyrics in English. Okay. That's not the one I was looking for. So the daughter in the movie, the Persian movie, becomes friends with a famous singer, but the mom's blind, so doesn't see like who he is. But I guess the daughter accidentally like doesn't really know who this person is. I hope I got the right one. Okay, yeah. Okay, so the one with the blind girl, they're both blind in both scenarios in the short movie, the short video, and the other one. This one, it's like, these two are literally every time I record a video or I'm talking on the phone, they want attention. This is how smart animals are. Okay, can you not? There's a cord. So, this is the lyrics for the French one in English, okay? Talk about me to your loved ones, to your friends. Tell them that this girl with black eyes and crazy dreams. What I want is to write stories that you will hear about. That's all. Viola Viola. Here I am. Even if I'm scared as I'm naked. There is something I'm scared about. Just getting manipulated. And I feel like this person is really has a lot of strength. They're very strong in their manipulation. It's actually quite scary. With anyone else, it would be very scary. With me, like emotionally, I feel like I'm strong that way. But so that's what it reminds me of. So I don't know if this is actually what it's about. Here I am, even if I'm scared, as I'm naked. Yes, here I am in the noise and in silence. Look at me, and you guys can look up all their lyrics. Look at me before I hate myself. What can I say that another hasn't already said? So I guess the purpose of this, I still haven't figured it out, but I also didn't let them come through to try and talk, so I will let them come through because I jumped right into this live and I didn't want to wait any longer because the more I wait, the more meaning I find in what I had to say. And even if I had recorded it and I kept it private, and then I find that that meaning shows up more in the next few days, and it would have been just better if I had turned it into content, or not content, but like put it out on the media, on media. So I kind of want to read they're showing me to read the rest of the lyrics, but I have to pick which action to do first. And this is the thing with being psychic, and it's not just this is it tastes different than, okay, I get it a little bit. They gotta show a little bit because I just like, I have my boundary now, whereas before I had no boundaries, as in, this is both the spirit realm and the physical realm has to be meshed together, because I would like reject the spirit realm and I'd only live in the physical realm, and there's two sides of the same coin type of thing, where the other part would happen too. The opposite would happen. So this is about being blind. And in 2016, thank you, I couldn't deal with them, not with them anymore, but I couldn't deal with myself anymore because it was too vivid. Like, it was all in 3D. Like, it was like, and it was summer of 2015. I remember precisely because I was still in Isaac, which is the organization, and I had cut it off right before I went to, I think it was Vancouver. We went to a conference, and I got so sick at that conference. And ever since then, just things were like, and I don't want to say ever since then because I don't want to share like all the like hurtful things on media, but I noticed that at that time it was just, everything was vivid to the point where it was like, okay, I like, the real life had no meaning, only the spirit realm had meaning. And I gotta explain it in the sense of, like, everything they said made more sense, like, spirit made more sense than humanity, like what humanity was doing and what humanity was speaking. And I didn't know how to translate that, and I still don't know how to translate that, and I feel like I would be scared to translate that because I wouldn't know what to do with it. So I know a lot of these things might not make sense, but now I'm open to spirit. So with boundary, the way it works is that I'd push these guys, I gotta think about how to word this for a sec. Like, I would let them come in, and I'm talking about like the last year or so, over a year. I let them come in and do things, but like, I wasn't healthy enough to handle it. And so some people call this a spiritual awakening. And for me, it was hell. Because people around me didn't like that, and I still had my light. So I still had like the alignment, and it freaked other people out. But like, these guys just didn't give a shit. Right? They just don't give a crap. Like, then I set boundaries and I say, go away. I'm not cutting you off, like as in just go away, like don't talk to me when I'm doing things, like when I'm reading an article or having to write something or write an article, please don't disrupt me. And then I tell them afterwards to maybe come and edit. But then that's the most stressful part, because I'd have to fully let them take over my body in order for that to happen. Like, I'd have to be healthy enough to let that happen. And by healthy is like if my body is in pain, like if I had just had an operation or I didn't eat well or something like that, it would sometimes make me vomit, or it would make me feel so uncomfortable that it's just almost weird. So it's like that's one of the many reasons of anxiety. So one thing that I wanted to say earlier was this whole song coming up is not a synchronicity, because those who are psychic, it's not like, let's say, manifesting, or I know those are completely different things, but like, let's say if you want to get guidance from spirit, okay, it doesn't work like that if you're not psychic. When you're psychic, it's like there's multiple things and you have to puzzle it out, and you have to be able to stand in it. Like, you literally have to stand in it. You can't just like go around. I'll stop it at the non-psychic thing, because it those are different concepts, and this is not about manifestation. This is about the song that came up. So the Leila Forouhar song, and they're saying it's not about the song, it's about the blindness of a mom. Because they're both blind, and both of them. And it has to do with Leila Forouhar as the singer too, like as the soul or the spirit. It's just, and this is what I mean if I don't have the education, or if I don't like sit with it. So maybe I should sit with it, because I don't want to do this on live, and I also don't want to edit. I just want to post this, and the more I do it, I feel the better I get. Not about doing my thing, but about figuring out media. This is a cord. Hopefully it doesn't get in the way. So there's a lot going on, and this is not just about me in my life. I know a lot of people do tarot readings or psychic stuff. Oh, this is another thing I always wanted to say, but I'm just going to say it on this live. I don't know if it's relevant to this. I feel like they're saying it is. You can, like, when you tune in to certain videos, okay, you can call in that energy from that video that you see. So, for example, you don't want to watch videos of poverty. That doesn't mean you tune out that it doesn't exist. But, like, let's say if you're on a fear frequency, don't watch those kind of videos, because you are manifesting faster in your fear on the earth realm and the 3D realm that you are manifesting if you're of a higher frequency. So, like, even some videos that you watch that are doing readings, or they're doing Christian videos, or they're doing any other kind of spiritual frequency video. So by frequency, I mean some of them do demonic stuff, some of them do spirit realms and stuff. All is possible. It's all like possible to be called into your life through any, sorry, my nose is really itchy for some reason. Maybe because I cried, but this is weird putting it on video. What was I gonna say? It's all possible to pull in certain energy. So, for example, if you're watching a video about fairies and mermaids, if you're not equipped, and by equipped, I mean if you're not of that realm, or you don't have ranking in those realms, you are fucked. Like, and I'm saying this with as strong as I possibly can to get it to you and in your head, to get in your mind. You are fucked. What I mean by that is you should kind of, like, not stay away from it, but it's like the cold situation or the COVID situation. If you are, let's say, of a lower frequency, if you're in a home or work environment that's really toxic, you have someone who's practicing demonic stuff. By the way, side note, I would get into character of all those things because I understand that realm. Not just because I understand that realm. I've been in those realms. So I've made connections in those realms. Sometimes like on purpose, and other times it's just like It's just my spirit, my soul. That's my job. That's like literally why I'm here, to do those, like, to educate the other realms and bring it, not bring it, but like be on every level. It doesn't work any other way. I'm unfortunately, like, I'm sorry, but I don't know how to, like, just be that one thing. And a lot of people are covering this now. I'm so grateful. A lot of the content that I haven't put out, like, these are things that I'm happy that I'm seeing other people's perspectives on without me, like, talking about it like on media. Yeah, so what I wanted to say about whatever videos that you watch, and it doesn't have to be videos, it could be people that you connect. It's like you can get a cold by somebody else having a cold if you don't take care of yourself. So if you don't have good physical health, good hygiene, good mental practices, like anything like that, you're gonna get sick. If you don't have a good immune system, you're gonna get sick. Same thing with energy, okay? That's the same thing. And a lot of times people have, like, mental illnesses that are like very aggressive and violent. And they don't show that violent side except for to those who are empathic or those who have light in them. Because I'm not going to say why. I know there's a lot of videos out there where they say they're triggered by you, or your light irritates their demons. I'm saying that is true. I'm also saying there's a lot of different reasons to everything, and that's why it's, like, important for me, like, when I ramble on, that I just get that message out at that time, even though there are others that categorize and organize their content, and they'll make, like, let's say 10 or more different videos based on specific topics or specific categories. And I hope that I can be more like that, but that's not going to be on today's live, where I'm more strategic in how I explain things, and strategic in like how my strategy is in getting information from the spirit realm. One other thing. Oh, I have to go back to the COVID thing. So when you get a cold, you can overcome it. It's gonna be a lot harder for you to not be wiped out, or it's gonna be a lot harder for you to build that strength if you're already sick. So, for example, if you go to a hospital, especially if you have a wound, you're sick, you get operated on, okay, like myself, or if you are weak in one area of your life, which could represent your chakra, like for me, I'm giving out all the information right now, so obviously you have to be careful how you share information as well. That's why evil eye is a thing, because how evil eye works, especially if the person who's sending you evil eye is actually violent mentally and spiritually and even physically, whether other people notice it or not. And a lot of times people do notice it, but there's many times people in corporations, like in the corporate world, like for me where I live, they know my social insurance number, they have my driver's license, they have all my information, my name, my birth. They have a lot of things on me, so it's like they can do witchcraft if they want to. And they do. But, like, the same thing is with anything else. So if you have, let's say for me, I have surgery in my root chakra, which has to do with home stability, right? And I didn't know these things. This is what I mean about education. When I said earlier in the video, it's like I know these things, but, like, how does it conspire, or is that the right wording? I speak 4 languages, so and also translating. So if you guys have synonyms, I have to look up synonyms for the words I'm looking for. But if where was I getting to? I have to go backtrack. I feel like I want to edit this part out, but God knows. If I have a wound, oh, this is what I was going to say about the education. I understood what was going on, but I just didn't understand how to kind of protect it in the physical realm in the past. So that's why you don't talk about your problems, and how evil eye works is that if another person knows your weakness, you may not even know your weakness. A lot of times people don't, and sometimes people do, or they don't know how it translates. So I have hip surgery. I'm weak in that area, and the hospital has physical illnesses that can be transferred onto me. So, for example, a lot of bacteria, a lot of fungus, parasites are taking a lot from the hospital. A lot of nurses, like I've called nurses, and they say, oh, that's not a possible thing. There's no such thing as parasites. Yes, there are. They're just stupid. Like, these people are dumb. And I'm saying that wholeheartedly, and I know I shouldn't say those words, like stupid, but and I know looking back, this is not my higher self talking. This is not my greatest educated self talking. But this is the version of me talking that just cried about like 45 minutes, an hour ago. But like, how this works is that they can attack you when you're sick because you're already weak and vulnerable. So you get those parasites because your immune system is lower. You went under surgery, you have anesthetics, you lose your B vitamins, and also parasites love B vitamins, which is why a lot of times you can find B vitamins in the meat, okay? And the meat, the animal that ate the grass or ate anything outside on the farm had a lot of parasites, meaning the ground when you walk barefoot in the earth, and I can take a video, talk about this in a video, when people do when people walk on earth, if they do, like barefoot is what I'm trying to say, I forget, there's a name for it, grounding, and they don't have a good immune system, they're going to get sick. They might not know that they're sick. They have like ADHD symptoms. They say heavy metal detox. They say all of that. But a lot of times is that when they walk on the earth, okay, if you're taking care of yourself, or even taking care of yourself, but you have like, you're taking your vitamins and all that, all these parasites go in your body. They can get through your feet. You have large pores in your feet. And I think one of the doctors on YouTube talks about this, Barbara O'Neill. You have big pores on your feet, and she does remedies for your feet in general. Like if you have a cold, you can put onion on your feet and all of that, and you can wrap it in a plastic bag or garlic or anything like that. So she already talks about your feet having large pores. So imagine that all these parasites will be sucked off. They suck on your B vitamins in your body, and then you get sick even more. So same thing. You lose B vitamins when you're sick. Okay, when you're on the hospital, and then these things come through. So these are things that if you're not educated on the earth realm, I need to plug this in, otherwise it's gonna die, then you're gonna be in trouble. And the same thing, now moving on to the energies. If you have a problem, so for me, I have root chakra problem, okay, every time I have surgery, if somebody's jealous of me, let's say they don't like my hair, which is something that that happened, and I had like a witch like fucking attack me. I didn't realize it was a witch, and there wasn't a lot of videos out at the time about witchcraft or about like evil things. So I literally had to listen to spirit, and I had to Google shit until I found it, and then now everybody talks about it, and I'm so grateful, and I'm so thankful that it's become very popular. And I've even seen videos from like 11 years ago, people talking about it, but I guess it wasn't on the in, what do you call it, when you search for something and then on YouTube or whatever your phone picks up on, the algorithm picks it up. So I wasn't I wasn't searching any of those things before, but now I'm searching, and more and more and more people talking about it, and even videos from the past pop up. And I was like, what the heck? Like, people have done witchcraft on me. And the more that I get the witchcraft out of the way, like, I can see a huge difference where who I was 2015, 2016 is like being uncovered now. Because all this shit and I don't even want to say shit, but all these bad things these people have put on to me, family members, acquaintances, people who I was like employed with, like just jealousy and envy that I didn't even realize, but like memories would pop up, or like I would see it right now. People creeping me, like I can see them creeping me on media. I haven't talked to them for like 11 years, okay? And not everybody has bad intentions. What I'm trying to say is people who know witchcraft or they do evil eye, they target those areas, okay? And you can search these things up. Gratefully, thankfully people are talking about it. What I'm trying to get to, I don't know what I'm trying to get, they know what I'm trying to get to. Spirit is trying to get me to talk about this. But, it's about the videos and how you can be affected. So, based on your physical body. So we talked about you getting sick, corona, and all that. Okay? I'm talking about the chakras, your auras. You can talk about past life stuff, okay? All these things are big, giant mind map or a big bird's eye view type of thing. And then you got to look at the little perspectives. If you want your habits to change, you could be doing the same thing, but you'll notice a shift in the way you feel. You'll notice a shift in the way you see things. And that's what you're trying to get at. With witchcraft, they can alter your mind. Like a lot of things got fucked up in my mind. I knew spiritually, and I understand when I'm in alignment, like everything's okay. Okay, I'm talking about how our body works. But I didn't know what the heck was going on. Okay, so when you have root chakra problems, it's already out of balance. That's naturally what happens. Okay, if you get a cut on your hand, you're already like healing. That part is healing. But if you keep putting things over top of it, it's gonna take longer for that wound to heal, and it's gonna leave a scar. Okay? So when I have those surgeries, or even before I have surgeries, because I'm not of the strongest, like I don't have a lot of strength, this is where the tie comes in. Thank you. Because I was like, I'm going to keep talking for like 2 hours. It's already 37 minutes, which is okay. Sorry, I complained. Which I'm learning is not a good thing. You got to just go with the flow. You got to let things flow in. You got to let things pour in, because the minute you put judgment into anything is the minute you take 2 steps back, or even like 4 or 7 steps back, and you don't want to do that because you want to keep going forward. So you want to like, and this is how they can come into your body, is you not judging and you just letting them talk. And not everyone should do that, because you could be fucked up if you don't have God by your side, and you have to be able to see God. Not every time, but for me personally, I have to be able to see God to be allow that to come in. So every time I have an operation, that is a portal and an ability for witchcraft to actually affect me. So I made a post one time after someone was trying to get me to go bald, or not go bald, but like have thinner hair and get me to cut my hair off. They were literally jealous of me, but I didn't know that at the time. I was just like sick all the time, and I had parasites and all that kind of stuff, which a lot of people have. They don't know they have. If you have pork, if you have salmon, and I have a whole medicine herbal list that you can take to not let that happen, because everybody gets it. But in other countries like Africa, which is why they do a lot of medical studies there, is because they do cleanses, they do parasite cleanses. Here, you can like, I went to my doctor, they were like, what is that? There's no such thing. Or, you can't find that here in Canada. We don't give medicine. It's just weird. And it's like, yeah, they're not educated, but there, they do it all the time. So to them, they're like, yeah, okay. So what? It's like you taking your ginger shot here in America. Everybody does, most people try to do it, okay, if you want to stay healthy. So the same thing there, they'll take these herbs that helps them because they understand that's how the body works, okay? So a lot of us don't know these things here. And same with when I talk about Africa, or naming that country because that was literally the first video I saw on witchcraft, and then I found another video in Mexico where people go to these women in these markets, and then they bring like pieces of that person's items or clothing, or they'll bring like an offering or like a witchcraft item that they use in the spell to try and attack the person through energy. Okay, and apparently it's really popular. So those are the only two videos I saw, and I can try and find the African one. The one with the, I'm pretty sure it was African, I could be wrong. But they were in America. It was an English titled video, and this woman literally had a miscarriage because somebody in that country had done voodoo on them. Okay, so I was like, okay, that was like a year or so ago, almost a year ago, where I found that video. Like I was like, please, like this needs to stop. Like there's a lot of things going on. There's people in my building that are like harassing me and discriminating against me, and then I had like my money. I was figuring out my money and a lot of things, and I was like, okay, great, I have another surgery coming up. Like I can't take anymore. It's not that I can't take anymore, but it's like it's really like loaded. Like there was like a full, like a whole tray, whole meal of stuff. So then I was like one by one. Okay. And the reason I bring parasites up is energy is like the same thing. If I have my root chakra, which is my hips, my surgery, so you have an operation, that wound is open. Okay? So by the time, unless you protect that and clean that wound, you clean the aura energy of that area or your home or your body, and you shower, you eat healthy, your thoughts are healthy, and you're keeping your body healthy, even like your aura healthy. There's another word we're trying to say. What are you trying to say? Your skin healthy. Is it the skin though? It's like, I don't know what they're trying to get to. It's like between your heart or your organs, not your spine, so not your nervous system. There's your organs. What's the tissues? What are you trying to get to? And then outside of your skin, there's your aura, but is there something that's like right outside your skin? Is it the heat? Anyway, I don't know. But you try to keep those things healthy, then you won't be attacked as much because it's a similar thing as a wound. But if your wound is infected, you're gonna look like you're gonna look like you're sick, okay? And I'm not even talking about a physical wound. Like if your physical wound is infected, you're gonna look sick. Like it's gonna be inflamed, it's gonna turn black and dark, and you're gonna look really sick. And then a lot of other things happen, right? A lot of other problems happen. Like if you come out of surgery, you have to take. For me, I have to take blood clot medication. Okay, I'll have to give myself needles for over 20 days. Or is it exactly that amount of days? 20. But if I don't do that, and if I eat a lot of fatty foods and I have a lot of problems in my body, then there's a higher chance of it being a blood clot. A blood clot, sorry, a memory came through. A blood clot can cause you to die. Blood clot can cause you to get part of your body amputated. Okay? I don't know if I'm allowed to share this, but I'm not going to until I get permission. Something came through from a memory, which has exactly what to do with blood clot and amputation. But if on the spirit realm, this same thing happens, okay, when people are doing it all the time, they'd be sending you shit and you wouldn't even know. It could be the person with the biggest smile on their face, and they send you shit. A lot of times people who are healthy, they know what the fuck is going on. They understand who it is, what it looks like, and how it is. But when you're sick, it's a lot harder to tell. Like if you have a cold and somebody who's an expert can come at you and be like, oh yeah, you have a cold, but you're like, oh, I don't know. Or like if you have a split personality disorder, someone could tell you, okay, you have a split personality disorder if they're in that field. And this is one of the things I wanted to get to. If you are sick, I'm trying to differentiate because I understand it mentally, but I'm trying to differentiate by giving, like, putting in a sentence as an example. So, if you're being attacked, like I'm gonna give you an example of a personal one. When you have your root chakra, okay, messed up, you have operation, and your root chakra is your home, your stability. You can look it up. Okay, it's red. Has to do with anger. Has to do with earth realm. Has to do with the environment. Okay. Definitely has to do with demons and devils, and doesn't mean they're bad because there's rules to their game. If you do not understand the rules, you should be fearful. Okay, or if you don't understand the rules, heal. Just heal. If you heal, they will not bother you, and not bother you in the sense of they won't stress you out and they won't it won't be so strong. Okay? And I'm not talking about from personal experience. I'm talking about from me being told the rules and me telling you some of it. I think I made a video before. I don't know if I published it. I think that's one of the ones I have to edit. Because it's like the 7 deadly sins type of thing. Where if you do one of them, you're like fucked up. And another thing with demons, which I'm just kind of popping in like popcorn style in this video. The thing with demons is that it's like a house of mirrors. Have you ever been to a maze and there's those mirrors and you know you're here, you know the direct mirror, but you don't know which one is your direct reflection and which one is a reflection of a reflection? It is exactly that. That is the game they're playing. And the way that this works with them is that you have to be trustworthy to demons. Okay? I'm not talking about devil. I'm talking about demons in this example, in this video for the root chakra. So they will show you the rules if you are trustworthy. If you are not trustworthy, they will have a lot of strength and power over you. And I should say that in a more humble way. Like, they have strength over you in the sense that even if you do go up, you will slip back down. Like, they do not fuck around. They do not break the rules. Like, it's their rules. It's actually the rule of the environmental rule. That's actually the exact correct way of saying it. It's like the rule of the environment. The way that it works, you cannot break it. They can if push comes to shove, and then they go talk to God, and then they go to talk to the angels, or they go talk to the other higher realms. And I don't want to say higher realms, of the right and correct realms. They have their own guide, and their own they'll get guided, okay? But when it comes to people and the person's, maybe I should stop talking about demons, because the point of it is the chakra, the root chakra. So I'm going to talk about the operation, but demons are a part of it because they're red. Root chakra is red. When you get your period, there's a lot of aggression and anger. You just have to kind of like resolve it. And a lot of those times those things do come up, especially in relationships. When you are stressed out about something and you don't confront it, or you're not honest about it, even to yourself or to the demons. You have to be honest to the demons. It's not just being honest to God, or honest in front of the mirror, or honest to about whatever emotions, but you don't have to go talk to demons either. But it's just like they're there to facilitate and like, I'll go back to this. So when you have an operation, you're open to whatever. Not everyone, but if you're unaware how to heal your wound, or you're unaware how to clear it, or how to protect it, you're unaware of how long it takes for it to fall off, so you're just pushing yourself, you just keep itching the scab off through anxiety, through stress, through fear, sleepless nights. You're just picking at it, right? Then you're more prone to infection. And same with the energy realm. You're more, and this is partly is what's coming up next is a message for me. But it just can cause, yeah, this part, what I wanted to share earlier is a message for me. This can cause you to not act, but like, if the energy can impact your physical body, basically. There's so many different levels. And if someone, how do I want to say this? When someone doesn't like you, and specifically like, someone can love you, be in love with you, but if they don't like you, or they don't, like if you're not an envious person, and they don't like that, you just, or you give your power away, or like you're just too powerful, but you're also sick. I shouldn't say that. There's another word. But that's just a playground for demons. That's a playground for other realms to come and attack you. So there's a video I saw earlier today, and it's hilarious because I kept being told to have it on replay, and I understood why by like more than midway. But one thing in specific stood out to me, and I could try and find the video if you guys are interested. One thing in specific stood out to me was there's 3 levels, and that was my guide. One of my guide was to integrate all of this, the physical, the spiritual, and like I think it was the third one was divine or something. I don't remember. I have to find it. I can try and look for it now. But that has been my issue since before 2015. Is I didn't know how to bring the physical up to the spirit realm, because spirit realm was always right and always doing things the righteous way. Even like when I say righteous, I mean like one big aspect of it. I feel like I'm blabbering too much. Is scientifically. So let me just try and see if I can find that video. I don't know if I'm gonna find it. I feel like I wasted my day and I don't like that. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna lower the volume because I don't know the copyright. It's a newer video. So let me see if I can skip to that part. It's called the Holy Spirit. Okay, the video. Okay, I think I'm almost there. Let's see. Maybe I'll mute myself and then I'll Got it. It was at the top. Okay. There's 3. There's body, spirit, and light. This is what I was trying to get to. So my body was really dense, okay? And then spirit is this is what I mean by scientific. So spirit is the thing that you have to be careful with, is what I was talking about earlier, that can come and attack you. This is how they use, and by attacking you I mean just be mindful and be healthy and protect yourself. I feel like I need to be more mindful with my words and sentence usage of words. But in the spirit realm, this is why I don't like mediumship, where you connect to, it's like people who are mediums, and I am too. Like, I have like 2-3 ghosts here right now, and I don't bother with them. Like, I just let, like, I'm do my own thing. Like, I want to turn around, you know? But that's what they use to be able to hurt your body. So when you do witchcraft, a lot of times they send spirits that, like a parasite, can suck your energy off of you because you have made a home for them unknowingly a lot of times. But now people are becoming more educated and they're more knowledgeable about it. So let's say if you haven't healed a wound, which for me is what I did with the toe thing today, because I was like, there's something in my energy field that someone tried to screw with me when I was younger, and they've just been sucking my energy since I was a kid. And in order to survive, I couldn't, like, for example, when there's something, like, I feel like I'm blabbering, and I'm not judging myself, but I just need to be more, like, and to heal that part, and to be more peaceful so I can hear what's going on. Okay, so they can send, which is people who do evil eye, people who don't like you, like your coworkers, okay, acquaintances, even your employees, your employers, especially, like if you're trying to move up, like even in a project. I'm not saying all employers and be scared. I'm trying to explain kind of like how a doctor would explain, okay, this, like, and they're trying to explain it to their residents, like the XYZ, ABC, this is what happens. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to explain that here's an example of when this is the case that this happens. This is, like, I'm trying to give you guys an example and try and explain the best I can, if I let them come through, or if also they want to come through. Because if you're dealing with an issue, you want to be able to resolve it, and you want to be able to think independently and think critically. That's my ultimate goal, and that's the guidance I wish to provide to those who are psychic and non-psychic, but are humans, some who are non-humans, including the other realm, because they can still they can still live with us, amongst us. A lot of the times they're scared to move up to the light. I know I was afraid when I was really, really low, and when I went into my shadow and I went into my darkness and I stayed in the darkness, it was a lot harder to come towards light, even though I am light. Even though, like, all these things on me, all these bad things on me were through witchcraft and through voodoo and energy vampires and energies, people who are siphoning my energy, that put these things on me. And the thing that I want to say about the surgery is that this is the thing that I need to figure out how to sentence it properly to be able to distinguish the difference for you. When someone has siphoned your energy because you have a wound or you have even a trauma, you have CPTSD, they can literally mentally alter your mentality. Okay? They can't necessarily I want to make sure I say they can't alter one thing, and I have to find the word for it. They can't alter, like, your, I don't know if the word is values or integrity or character or your morals. There's another word in there. I'll skip it for now. They can't do that. They can alter you acting crazy. So they can alter you being irritated, okay, for something you might normally not be irritated about. So, for example, if you have a bunch of dishes piling up and you're like really freaked out and stressed out about it and you just don't care, they can alter that, and that's what happened to me, where I was just like, I was too tired at one point, and when I wasn't tired and I got to it, it caused me so much stress that it, like, I got so freaked out, and then some days, like the next 2 days, it got really, really cold, and then it was just like, I was so tired under the blankets, I didn't want to, like, touch the water. It was like all those things that they can alter so that you get stressed out or you get anxiety, and then, like, a lot of people that are also weak around you, they can use their weaknesses to come and attack you. It might not be the devil, but that is what the spirit part is. So there's the body. I don't want to show you this because it's not my content, and this is a newer type of thing, so I don't know if I'm allowed. Because it's of education, whereas the other video, it was more like sharing. I don't know. This is my guess about how copyright works. Okay. But this one says body, spirit, light. So these spirits, if the people around you are also weak and you're already weak, but you have like a character development, you've already developed your character, okay? You might have like things here and there as a human do. Otherwise we wouldn't be here. You would be in the light. You wouldn't be a human if you didn't. And I don't fully believe that for some reason. I feel like there are humans that have, like, fully developed their character, like, I don't know why, sorry, I feel like there's, like, a cat hair at this point. Before there wasn't. But, I've seen other people do it on video, and I think it's kind of weird. It stresses me out when I see that, so I'm just gonna, like, but, like, basically, I hate that. So annoying. But it's okay. Maybe this is their way of trying to get me to embarrass myself on live or on video. Because people do that. People do bad things and they're weird and crazy and envious. So I don't know. So another thing is that this is already an hour and 3 minutes. They can use your wound to add more bacteria, to add more bad things. So physical wound, bacteria, bad things, more infection, cause more harm, cause more pain, get you to stay back, even can get you to the point of amputating that part of the body, okay, or it leaves a scar. So the same thing with witchcraft, or I'm using witchcraft for one of the main things because that's the main topic that's coming up. I already said in December of last year, 2023, that I will not withstand witchcraft, and I will not allow witchcraft in the environment of Earth, like the earthly realm, Earth environment. I will not have witchcraft in this world, on Earth. Not just me, but just anyone in this environment, like all around the globe. And thankfully now there's like videos about witchcraft coming out, videos about like voodoo and siphoning people's energy, and there's a whole bunch of other things, and they actually are different stuff, because some people can unknowingly, by talking badly about you, send you that is a type of witchcraft, is spells. Okay, doesn't always have to be physical stuff. It doesn't have to be like, here, this is cinnamon, mine is cinnamon wrapped around. It's really, really good. You can use cinnamon for, I don't know if you can use it for protection, but it's like, it helps amplify luck. This is good for finances. It's good for, it's just I think they use cinnamon. Christians use cinnamon as well for anointing. I know they use oil, but I figured out that those who are of the light, everybody can. I don't want to say everybody. This is so weird. And I know the frequency of Earth is going up higher, and there's a reason for that. But the minute I said olive oil, all of a sudden I taste olives, and like not just olives on their own, but like the ones that have like the spices and they have like the good texture. I'm like, oh man, I feel like I'm eating olives. It feels so good. It tastes so good. It's yummy. But like, yeah, you get those sensations, like you feel like it's real. And a lot of times, if you're not aware that you're psychic, or you're pushing that away and you're like, oh no, I have boundaries, you can still feel those things. Like, you can just close your eyes. I mean, this is the message to myself. I can't just close my eyes and be like, I don't see things. But yeah, you do. Like, I don't want to cause myself problems anymore by like stressing out about having this, or not having this, but like using the ability, or at the time not using the ability. So I don't want to cause more harm to my environment by not having that, or not educating myself on it, because it's like you have an afro and you don't know how to take care of it, and you look all weird because you haven't figured out how to take care of it. You're just like scaring everybody because of the way that you're taking care of your hair. Like, you might not know how to brush it, or use the right product, or like use the right shampoo, or use a bonnet, for example, and then it just ends up looking funny. And it's fine. You can still walk around like that. It's not going to be pleasant to the other people's eyes, or even your eyes and your reflection. So the same thing with me. It's like, I can't not figure out how to use my, like, I can't not educate myself on being a psychic. So it's like, you have it. It's like, you have green eyes. Let it go. It's done. Like, it's just, or you have blue eyes, okay. And I don't know how to explain it. So the other thing I wanted to get to in one of my videos, the point, and I think I've talked about this before, maybe in my head, maybe in a private video I made for myself, just so I can remember. I always know I can always remember it if I pull from it, from my mind. But one reason that the frequency of the earth is going up, there's multiple reasons, and the way that energy, not just energy works, but the way that things work on earth, and in our environment, is that the temperature of the earth is going up. So we have global warming and global warming hell. So hell is hot, burning fire. The heat is hot. Inside the earth, I think, is hot. I don't know. I know the middle of the earth is made of metal. I don't know much about the inside of the earth, but I do know that demons and devils are fucking sick and tired of people that are dying, and they're all going to hell. They literally cannot, I think I did talk about this in the other video, they literally cannot handle the amount of souls that are going to hell and are occupying the earth from and just below the surface of the earth. They literally cannot handle it. So they have to rise the frequency of the earth, and this is what I mean. God works with the devil. God works with demons. You may not think that, but without God, there wouldn't be no devils or demons. And I'm saying God because, like, that's the word. I don't want to say that's the word, but that's like the creator energy that we're all from, and I have it. I'm too fearful to tap into that energy to really understand why. So I'm going to just tap into all of the clear knowledge that I have educated myself on to the best of my abilities to be able to translate properly, but from the frequency of the earth rising, it from this round, not this round, but from here, the reason for it is that the devil is sick and tired. Sick of all this shit happening with our environment. Of all these people doing wrong things. Okay, so just like there's bad people going to hell, it's raising the... That's not the reason that we have global warming. That's not the reason. I'm just explaining to you that those things are things that are taking place. So as the frequency of, as the temperature of the earth rises, naturally that comes up too. And that's our fault. Not everything is our fault, but majority of it is based on my knowledge. So I'm not meditating as I'm speaking right now, so I'm not letting them come through 100, fully to take over. I can try to do that by the end of this video, but I feel like it's kind of weird because I haven't done it before. Another thing that people can do through witchcraft is ruin your reputation, and that's the difference. That's one of the... This is why I want to be a bit more humble when I want to say this, because I haven't figured out how to explain the other one. So, if you... The devil doesn't mess with those who are honest and truthful and have developed their character, who are dominating over themselves, not other people, but themselves. They usually don't fuck around with those people. And usually it's like you have your own fears, or you have taken the anxieties of things around you. So if you're empathic, then you're taking on the anxieties of the other people. But how the devil works, or not how the devil works, how witchcraft works, is you're getting attacked, so you might act out of character. If you get stressed, if your dog barks, you might get you might yell at them, okay? Which normally you wouldn't. But mental illness, this is one of the things where I was trying to differentiate. People with real mental illness, I'm not talking about depression. Okay, partly I am talking about depression, because that can come with the bad, evil things. What I'm not talking about is grief and anger. Those two are of different frequencies than envy and jealousy, and I'm trying to get them to tap in to talk. I'm tapping into demons right now. A demon, a few of them. So if you don't want to stay on, you can go, but just, I'm putting protection. Just have protection around those watching, if anyone is watching. Even one person or myself, when I feel like I'm on a different frequency, or if I'm sad or whatnot. Which usually if you're strong enough, you wouldn't be affected by it for too long or too much, or it wouldn't have too much of an impact. You might still get hurt, as in you might draw in certain things. But those who have a lot of wounds, and I'm talking about the way I'm seeing it, I feel like I'm not translating properly as I'm seeing it, but the differentiation between people having real mental illness and people who are at a balance, and it is different. They are very different things. As in, one is good, one is very different. I don't want to say bad, but weird. Is that, and I feel like I'm not advocating for myself, I'm advocating for those who are really going through it, and they need that little bit of education, that maybe hopefully they'll look into something a bit more, or it'll be another stepping stone for them to move up, as a guide. So, like, if you're stressed out, you feel like witchcraft is being done on you, that is a very different thing than the person who is envious of you, or a envious person, even if it's not towards you. But an envious or jealous person who is really evil, they're the one with the real mental illness. And one of the reasons that the frequency of the earth is coming up and is rising is because of the people who are fucked up and are fucking up in our governments and in any possible way, like domestically. People who are just trying to dominate others, they have real mental illness. And a lot of the times they mask it. A lot of people call them narcissists. Those are very different things than those who have mental illness. Okay? Because those who have mental illness are trying to dominate other beings or animals or things and events and media and places and influence, and they're trying to dominate fashion, and they're trying to dominate literally the environment because they cannot process their mental illness. Like, for those who are empathic, jealousy is not a big thing. Like, it's not a real thing. And one time I felt envious for something, and I could label it as envy, but I'm aware of it. I'm not going to attack another person because I'm envious. That's the difference. Those people that need real help, and I'm saying everybody needs help, but those who need to be looked at, like, okay, you need help, like, you need someone to be helping you or something, are those who go and try to change the event to get their way. And devils and demons do not play around with those people. And by do not playing around with means they don't trust them. And it's funny because this is one of the things that you come by when you're on the spirit realm. You have to be so aware. Nothing is, I don't want to say, okay, nothing is set in stone, but also you're not aware of what you don't know. How do I measure that? Like, how do you measure mental illness? Like, if you're not psychic, you won't be able to tell the difference unless you have been brought up well, you are super healthy. Like, there's a lot of psychic people who have shit going on in their lives, who have money issues, who have all those things because in that area they are wounded, or in that area they are stressed out. And a lot of times that could come with, like, just not having, I don't want to get into it too much, but, like, not, like, this is not important for this video, but those who are healthy can tell the difference. Like, let's say if you are a good Christian or you are a good human being, you kind of can tell when someone's not a good human being. But if, like, you have a wound, a people-pleasing wound, and you, let's say, are a good human being, you're gonna have a bit of a hard time. So you're wounded. But if you are evil and you just don't give a shit, like, people can do things unintentionally, and by the way, that's still not okay. That's not healthy. Like, you have to be healthy. And so let's say if someone is evil intentionally, they know what they're doing is wrong, they still do it and they get a high off of it, or they become happy because of a certain result, because they think that they can manipulate things, and they might have done it for like 70 years. like 50, 70 years and like would have gotten away with it, but the amount of shit that these people have to deal with internally, like, is unreal. Okay? But that doesn't mean they can just throw the shit. Like, they have so much shit inside of them that that's the only way they can get it out. And that's not right. That's not cool. But another thing I wanted to say, one point, but I'll say it here in this video, is that if someone, I used to feel empathetic towards, like, people who are in service work and they're burnt out and then they do their job wrong. Okay, so if they do things malpractice or they do something that's like not cool, they don't have any empathy, they're burnt out, that's not my problem. That's not the patient's problem. That's not the client's problem. That's your problem at that point. You either didn't do things properly, you didn't take enough of a break, you didn't go on vacation. That is not our problem, because now you're causing problems instead of making solutions. So if you just want to get money and pay your bills, go do something else or take some time off, spend less, go on disability, go on EI, or I don't know, take sick leave, but you're causing problems and you're actually creating more karma, not just for yourself, but the people you're hurting. Because you can actually transfer it. And a lot of people are doing that through witchcraft. They transfer their karma onto other people because they have either they have so much or they just don't know how to handle it and they think they're only living this one life and they just transfer it onto the person who has like an energy or aura rip or aura wound, or they think that that person has a lot of power, so they siphon and they take that person's energy, which I didn't actually know about because I actually didn't get the message for it. It just came through like watching a few YouTube videos, and then I confirmed that that's possible with my guides, but it wasn't like a message that came through directly through the other realms. I was like, oh wow, that was a shock to me because it wasn't like something that was just like given to me or downloaded, and then I had to look up other examples or educate myself for evidence through media or books or anything on here. But what's weird is when I tied that knot on my toe, and whoever's hasn't listened to the full video, you wouldn't really know. Whenever I tied that knot on my toe, and the reason I did that was I got these messages and I haven't sat down to like meditate for 40 minutes on it, but I just did the action because I was supposed to. And I can explain like right toe and all that, and my right leg is the one I need my next surgery for, which is one of the weaker leg. Like there's a lot of bone, like puzzle pieces in my bones that needs to be fixed. Or like they need to edit some things on my bone. What was interesting is when I was younger, like I was a kid, because I always thought like did this to me because they wanted to take my life, and that wasn't a question that I asked until recently when I learned about siphoning people's energy and swapping destinies. And I was like, destiny swapping? Like I knew that like my dad was jealous of me for certain talents, and like he wanted to be in movies, and like he wanted to do the musician stuff, and I was in like my own little band when I was in high school, or not high school, sorry, elementary school, and like I did my own like music stuff, and like I wanted to make my own little movies, like you know, when you make your own little ones as a teenager or like even as a young adult. And then I wanted to do that because most kids do. They wanted to go into music school and all that, but they can alter your life, especially if they're in your bloodline. Or the other thing is that there's a good book I can share with you guys one time sometime, but is that you actually take on your parents' wound, and a lot of like the people who are born into a lineage of like trauma and or just anything, any family, you can take on another person's problems because you want to empathize with your mom or with your parents, and you don't want them to be hurt. And animals do that too with their owners. Like if you're sick or you're pregnant, your animal is going to come in and try and take care of you. It's no less with humans. So you might have unconsciously taken things on, but with the way us humans, especially humans, but animals do it too, is that we kind of can go in circles even after the event had finished. You don't realize you're going circles, but other people might be able to kind of see. And that's not okay if everybody else is in the same or similar position as you, because they're all doing the same thing. They're all screwing each other over if they're envious or jealous that one of them has a little bit of an advantage than the other. Then they're all going to go to crap. And then at one point, if this keeps going, it's going to be the whole country doing this because nobody else knows any better, or like the way our food and groceries have come to, where like nobody's standing up. Not nobody. More people are doing it now. And at all the generations, they've all had a group of protesters, or they've all had a group of like the mindful ones that are, you know, the environmentalists that are trying to help the environment. This isn't a new thing, but I think with media, it's like combined a lot more. And so the fact that like our doctor doesn't say, oh yeah, parasites are real, my specific doctor anyway, I don't know where she's from, but like she's clearly not like Middle Eastern or from Africa, to say, oh yeah, those things do exist, here's like a whole herbal remedy, which technically they can't really say because they have to sign, they have to like swear by not sharing certain information, or swear by only sharing medical information or only sharing medical studies. I understand that. Or not understand, but like I know that that's how their education works, and in order for them to stay in business or be able to practice, they have to do those things. But what I'm trying to get to, or not trying to get to, when I brought that example up with the, I don't know why I have my arms crossed. When I brought it feels so revealing. Like, I don't have my arms crossed. But with the example of everybody's gonna ruin everything, like with our generation, you go look at the grocery store, like people are talking about it now with the ingredients, but like the fruit here isn't the same as the fruit in Mexico, and I know that they're imported differently, and they have to import at different times so that the fruit doesn't go bad, and they have to add things so that the fruit can stay on the shelf longer, but it's not the same thing that you have in Mexico. Like it might look weirder, like the strawberries and the food, the produce in Mexico, but it doesn't last as long in the fridge. It goes bad quicker, but it's a lot more delicious. I'm not saying all of it is organic, but like because I was exposed to that recently in my late adulthood, or mid adulthood, and then in my late adulthood when I came back to Canada, I was like, why is this apple lasting me like a month and a half or more in my fridge? Why does this orange taste like this? Because I was used to that. But abroad. But when I was here, like even my orange like lasted a long time in the fridge without it going like all weird. But then here, yeah, people complain, but not nearly as much because they're used to it. And if everybody gets used to a certain way of behaving, then it's just going to be so hard. Like that's one of the, this is something that just came up recently. Like a lot of people don't want to hang around with complainers, right? And unless you're a step higher than the complainer, you wouldn't really know that you're complaining, or somebody's complaining, or that they're dramatic. Like I had this friend, and I will keep talking about this. Her name was Darlin, and she was envious and I didn't realize she was envious because I was just like, oh, we're all friends, like she's my friend, I'm your friend, like everything's cool. And the more I look back and the way that she did things, I was like, what the heck? Because I wouldn't do that, and I understand how to be a good friend. I understand how friendship works, how best friends work. And at one point, like she'd done a lot, like not like it was a sequence of things. Like there would be like a little break where she would like be nice again, but then she'd fucking like snowmobile you over onto the other side, and then she'd be like, like, I'm so cool, I'm gonna go work out. I'm like, do you want a smoothie? You want to do that? And I'm like, what the fuck? What the hell is wrong with you? You a whore. Like, she just, like, she wanted a boy's attention. And I'm like, okay. But I wouldn't have understood that that's what's happening unless I'm a step higher. If that makes sense. So then, like, one thing that she did, what was the example that came to my mind? And I was like, what the fuck? I'm trying to remember. I literally thought of it, like, not that long ago. Then another thing is, unless, like, the group of people, unless, like, you're not one who gossips, you're gonna be in the gossip because you're just so used to that mentality, you're so used to that mindset. So that's why a lot of times there's a gap between, like, the different hierarchy of people. And the same thing can happen of, like, a higher financial hierarchy. But I'm talking about, like, character-wise. I'm talking about how inspirational that person is. Like, the minute you're amongst other people, like, because of me, I came back to Canada, you know, and I was here in Barrie, and I lived in an area that, first of all, there was COVID, so you were on lockdown, so you know, you're in hermit mode most of the time. Most people are, so they're already going like batshit crazy. I don't know, like batshit crazy, but they're going like, they're getting fucked up, right? So they need to like balance themselves out. They need to balance their own like health out and everything, and their emotions and mentality. But then like you go out into the world, and you're trying to communicate with them. And I know majority of people that I've talked to that were, I don't want to say on my level, but like like understood what I was talking about our environment, just like becoming a little bit like evil, is that I was a little different from these people. Like in Mexico, I held clothing swap events. I held a lot of things. So when I came here, I had that mindset. But a few years passed, and I'm like, those people thought maybe that I was better than them, or that they acted like they were better than me. Like they were like, I want to say envious, but they acted like I was trying to take over their events or take over their, I don't freaking know, their groups, their Facebook groups, or their roles. I'm going to take over their environment. Like I wasn't, and I'm still not, but I just don't understand how they don't see that. But because you have that light, because you're a little different, you may not understand it unless you raise your vibration a bit more. That's why the devil don't fuck with me. They don't fuck with you if you're trustworthy, because they know, okay, like you're not. And one of the demons told me, like, you're not supposed to be here. And I've been told, like, you're not supposed to be in this apartment building. And I knew before I came here. But the thing is that it was said to me in a way of, like, yo, like, don't even bother type of thing. Like, just go to God. Like, go up higher. You don't, like, you don't even need to be messed with. Like, you don't need me to talk to you type of thing. I was like, okay. And, like, that's, I think, one of the reasons there's going to be a lot more gaps, and it's going to be a lot harder to differentiate, even with the food, the way our foods are. Like, people just kept eating the food, and I think they just kind of got irritated a lot with the chemicals that are in the food, or, like, the ingredients, and they don't realize it because they've done it for so long, or they're not educated, or they're not given a lot of different options. Now there's videos out of like recipes and, you know, different salad recipes and whatnot that you can go try. But if you don't educate yourself, or don't, even if you do educate yourself, and let's say there's wrong education, or you're just too tired to educate yourself, or you don't know where to start, it's just overwhelming, there's a lot of different ingredients, you're not, it's going to take a long time for you to go up higher onto the other, I don't want to say realm, but onto the other, like, what's the way of differentiating status? Like, coming out of that mindset. I feel like I make sense, but I don't know if the person, everyone's different. Whoever's picking it, I know I'm gonna have like some negative comments on here if people do watch. They ask me questions about on the other videos too. Good for some of the other psychic YouTubers that actually do videos, because half of the time I want to answer you guys. Like, even on some videos, I just like filter the comments so that I read through it first so that I can answer it. Because if I don't answer it and the comment's still there, then it's gonna look like I just don't care about answering, or I don't want to read the comments. So I always want to make sure that's my number one goal, to answer questions. If I don't know how to answer it, or if I keep making a long video and I talk about 10 different things, it's not going to make sense. Which is why I feel like if I keep doing live videos and not editing them, it could be problematic for me, maybe not for other people, but for me in the sense that I want to refer people to different videos on different topics and categories, and if I categorize them a lot better, I feel like it'll be very helpful for me for future psychic content that I want to make. So I want to make sure you guys are able to think critically, especially with the way that our minds work. And as the frequency of the earth goes up, but the thing is that when that happens, you go into different realms and dimensions. And so even if you're not born psychic, or let's say if you're not, I don't want to say psychic, but even if you're not used to being a sensitive person, and because of the frequency of the earth, like going to a different realm, you're gonna feel it. So even with the internet, 5G, I feel it. I didn't realize I was feeling it, but anytime I have my router on, I feel a difference. So that's how sensitivity can work. As the frequency goes up, you're able to connect the energies with your body, and it's not just above your head. It's now in your mind. And if you don't know how to properly visualize through psychic abilities, you're just gonna be anxious all the time, or you're gonna be like fearful all the time because you're feeling everybody else's fear, because all those people that fucked up in their lives, the frequency is going up, so it's no longer just in them, it's being poured outwards, either by them doing witchcraft, by them throw their negative energy at you through evil eyes, talking bad about you, or having bad thoughts about you, and you can just pick up on it. They might not necessarily do anything, or they might, I don't know, my brain just needs a little reboot for a second. But you will feel it, because we're now, people say we're in the 5D, but not everybody gets in the 5D. There's about 20% of people, almost 20% of people still in the 3D. And it has nothing to do with being a druggie or being poor or in poverty. That's nothing to do with it. There could be like quite a lot of people that are in the 3D that are middle class or higher. And the reason I'm bringing up financial stuff, because a lot of finances has to do with stability. And if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, even if you look at the colors, it's the same color scheme, similar, because it depends on where you're researching it. And finding the authentic one would be very helpful. You can see it's the same colors and levels as the chakra system, so the basic needs are usually, not often, depending on which textbook you're looking at and figure, are like a reddish color. And then it goes up to the self-actualization, which is like a violet. I'm doing it off the top of my head, so you'd have to bring it up, or I'd have to bring it up. It would be like similar to the chakra colors. Same thing with the prism, rainbow. I don't know so much about the rainbow. Is there 7 colors to the rainbow? And are they next to each other the same? Frequency of music. I wonder if music has color. I'd have to look that up. But it makes sense though, because when you're looking at the lower frequency of your earth root chakra, which is red, blood, period, demons, and I always bring that up because that has so much to do with the violence that's going on in the world. Not everything, but has a lot to do with it. A lot of it is karma, and I wanted to say this for a while because I have all these thoughts, and they're not always thoughts. They're, people call them downloads, but they're like answers to questions that I have. Like, I'll think of something. Same with the Leila Forouhar song. I was like, what movie was that from? And then like almost 2 weeks later I get it right away. Ironically, like out of nowhere. I wasn't even, not out of nowhere, but it was when I was doing the tying of the string, and it came up. I feel like now I'm just talking because I want to, and they're not necessarily messages. It's like a vlog, a chit chat. But I wish I grabbed some tea. It would have been more fun, or changed the lighting. But I guess Liz the Wiz also does videos like this, so I don't know if I'm allowed to. I said I give myself permission to, because I have my idea of how I want my media to be. But sometimes the message is more important because time moves on either way. And I have other things I need to do that are more important, like projects that I'm trying not to procrastinate on, but I have procrastinated on. But I know a lot of it is because I have to heal some stuff in order to be able to face it. And that's what I was doing today with tying that string. And then this whole thing came up, and I was like, I have to talk about this. Because so many examples come up, and I just think, oh, this might be helpful for someone, because it took me a while to understand when I opened myself back up. Jump. 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 You wanna come? I have a cord and I don't want her to pull it. I'm getting itchy now. What was I talking about? That I wanted to share. Oh, witchcraft and the reason for the wars and the bombing and stuff. A lot of times those people, it's their karma, and I disagree with that, because I ask questions, right? And so when I get the answer, I'm like, oh, is it something that because of the frequency of the earth? Yes, but no, not always, because like, let's say, and when they say spiritual warfare, it's not just between personal people, like me and you. It's like they would literally do it on nations. They would be like, well, Canada, and I'm using Canada because I don't want to use like Palestine or those examples right now, because off the top of my head, my brain is like a little sleepy right now, and they're playing right now. I wanted to move the camera, but I know the lighting's not good, and they're gonna look weird on the phone. But Orchid's on top of Gigi, and is attacking her. Like she's biting her. A lot of the times I ask questions and I think, okay, like, is it the frequency of the earth that's rising? Yes, that's a part of it. And so they want people to just fucking kill each other to get rid of it so they can renew the energy and they can renew the environment. That's one. Another thing, I'm not saying this is total of the amount, but just another thing that's coming up. Like with the demons, for example, I know they have a set of rules, and then that you can't get more than that. Like you can't get past that. That's the threshold. That's the limit. That's like the ceiling, not a glass ceiling, but that's the ceiling for it. But with this question, the answers that I'm getting, they could be like all of these or any of these. So when the country does witchcraft on another, let's say 100 years ago, and I think like some people said that this in the Bible, what's happening in the world, they might have had an amazing prophet at the time. But, or maybe we're all a part of the game, but I haven't sat down to meditate on it because frankly, I'm too tired. Like, and I think it's kind of funny because it's like, there was a time where I would think, okay, which one's the most important information? And that's a lot of the problems with people who have ADHD, is that there's a lot, I shouldn't be talking, it's not so important to talk about today. There's a line between being ADHD, like having ADHD, having CPTSD, majority of the time I feel like that's what it is, and being psychic and not realizing that you're psychic, but you just can't pick which one thing to do. So that's the thing with having boundaries. When you're psychic, you gotta make sure, and I'm getting much better than that. I'm almost done setting those boundaries, because you can do it one time, but I didn't want to set a boundary and then like screw myself over and shut something off, or like be rude to them. But like, I'd set a boundary now, and I'd say, okay, like, say something when I stop talking, then they can talk. So when I ask questions like, hey, why is Palestine and them fighting? And then I told you one of the answers. Another answer says like the frequency of the earth rising and hell coming up, and just devils not wanting to deal with them, or demons, like the souls of the dying people, so they just want to get rid of them now and then do their other jobs, like help the animals. Another thing is the whole country could have witchcraft done on them because someone was mad, or like a government or another country was mad because they didn't get X, Y, and Z, and so they're using that, and that's maybe why people say spiritual warfare, even as a country. It's not just directly one by one because someone's jealous of you because you're famous, or like because you're better at handling your emotions. I don't know. What's one more thing I can talk about before I leave? The string. So when I taught this string, I had to do the action, and I wondered, I was like, oh, like, is the reason why the thing happened for my hips because, like, and me being psychic is because it happened because of my hips and because I came to the earth? Or now, is it because someone was trying to destiny swap? So if I'm weak, they can siphon the energy. And that's what the whole video was about in the beginning, was that you have to be mindful of your aura and your wounds, because witchcraft can be done on you. It could have been done like 100 years ago by an ancestor, and you're the one taking the hit for it. Because and a lot of times when people say curses, that's how it works, and that's in one of the books too, actually, that I wanted to share, which was more of a scientific book. And by scientific I mean like she explains it very well, like the way that she puts it in a story. And this was actually something she brought up in the book. This is where the concept of it kind of came to mind, as much as I can remember. Maybe somewhere else I learned it but I don't remember. Um, or recently, it just like got refreshed through this book, and it's called Your Emotional Blueprint, I think. It's a dark purple book with a lot of colors on in the middle. It's by Julie something, I think. I have it down there. I'm gonna find it. And she talks about somebody cursing your bloodline, and it's not like a, from what I read so far, until that point, was it's not even like just witchcraft, but let's say something that happened to your bloodline like 2 generations ago, and no one fixed it, or no one looked at it, or sat with it, or really felt the emotions, or whatever, healed it, then it gets passed down onto you until at one point it gets stopped. It's like that video that was viral a while ago about the matches that were right next to each other, and then the one match got lit with fire, and then the rest of them were lit until one of the matches were pulled out, and then it stopped after that. And that's a great example, and that's why I love to use visuals. And when I repost things on my community board on YouTube, a lot of the times, unless it was just a reshare or something, I try to post it and or save it to the playlist called Heal or Psychic Intuition and Info. I'm gonna keep changing the title for that one, because until I find it I might just label it Psychic. Is so you guys can understand, and I have it in the playlist to pull from, that, oh, here's a legitimate example in real life, like the matches, of how it works energetically or emotionally. So you guys can't see a lot of the things that some psychics can see when they do videos. Majority of the times you can, only because you're drawn to the video, so usually like attracts like. But the point of my videos are to be targeting those who are not psychic. I'm targeting those who are not educated in this field, that might be in government, or might be in environmentalism, or in music industry and business industry, because they need these this type of education more than anything. Like, everybody needs to know about physics. Everybody needs to understand math. Everybody needs to understand how English and language and communication works, because it works across all realms, or all across the board. And knowing how to think critically in this, and having these type of abilities, whether you naturally know it or not, but at least being able to understand the fundamentals, is so key. Not just as an individual to be able to do things properly, efficiently, but also to be able to understand what the heck is going on when problems arise. To be able to see things from when the tables are turned. Because you're not always going to be on one side, and you kind of want to be able to figure it out before shit hits the fan, what the heck is going on, because the majority of the times, for my life anyway, is spending a lot of the time figuring out what the shit is, where it came from, what the fuck is going on anyway, like being able to identify that it's shit, what it is, that what is going on with it, or what's going on around it, what's the environment around it, to be able to solve the problem. And that's majority of the time spent solving the problem. Unless somebody gave you the steps to solve it, it becomes a lot easier when you have the equation to solve it. And that's how things work in my way of doing things. And that's one of the reasons I said I don't like mediumship. Even though I can see it, up until this point, and I think for a little while moving forward, even though I know God doesn't want me to do this, or my spiritual team, is that I don't like mediumship, because it doesn't have a lot to do with, like, I'm one person, and I want to be able to educate, and I prefer to have other people have critical thinking skills and be able to see things from a different perspective than me just saying, oh yeah, here's a spirit, here's a ghost, this is what they're telling you. Like, how much, like, they're saying it's very helpful, even to that one person. Like, it's like the story of, oh, you helped that starfish. It was in the Chicken Soup for the Soul. There was a story about a man saving the starfish that had been washed up to shore, and then each starfish that he put back, he was saying that you helped that one starfish. You made a difference to that one. It's about making a difference even to one person. I don't know. It's almost 2 hours in this video. But, I guess I'm not rambling on, but there were parts of this video that, like, were a little problematic that I would want to, like, dominate over and, like, want to take down and edit, but, well, not edit, but, like, reword or wish that I scripted or had in a script. But anyway, I'll try to at least put it in the description or rewrite what I wanted to say, but maybe not for this video. It's really important for me that while I'm a human and while I can use this technology, like media, that I just share those thoughts. Preferably properly categorized, but like having it properly put into proper categories and make it more digestible content. But like essentially, like even the business world would need this, because then we're all gonna go in circles, and we might not know what the heck is going on, especially with the more that technology advances. As much as there are people that are going to educate themselves, there are also going to be very, very, very numb, and I'm not saying just dumb, but numb people who are numb to even their own senses. And I'm not talking about just emotionally and spiritually, but numb to their own senses in the sense of like I didn't understand emotional well-being. I was never taught. I was never raised. If you have someone who's constantly, let's say a child is born in 100 years, and they're in constant survival mode because of whatever the future holds and the way that the environment is going to be, and I'm talking about just the nature environment, I'm talking about like communities and like, governments, the way that the environment is, they might not understand certain concepts about how to be a person. Like, I didn't understand my emotional well-being. I still didn't understand it till I was like 28. I just kind of scratched the surface, maybe scratched the surface. And then now I'm like 30, looking at it like, oh, that would have been like, I should have figured that out a long time ago. Well, I didn't have the ability. I didn't have the capacity. I was working so much. I was trying to finish my education. I didn't have the capacity to sit down and say, let's go through all the emotional roller coaster to get to this point of being at the end of all the emotional crap, I'm going to stop this video because it's an hour and 59 minutes, and I know I had a few more things to go about the future, but I was just saying. They might not know, so they might be numb to it. So, they might just get. I feel like I should just end the video because I'm sure this topic will come up later. Okay.